Hey, welcome back to the Signature Movement. It's your girl Tanya D. Floyd. I had another one of my early morning epiphanies on this day. I woke up at, it was more like 5 today and took my shower. Normally, I wake up somewhere between 3 and 5 lately. I don't know what's going on with that. I ain't really in appreciation of that either, but yeah, there's something going on with that. So anyway, I realized that I have been watching these videos all over social media. What kind of videos, Floyd? Well, in particular, I've been seeing a bunch of videos of guys filleting fish, expertly, mind you. And today, when I woke up, I knew that meant something. Now, you know how you go on social media, the algorithm kind of gives you more of what you've been looking for, right? So, the more funny dog videos I see, the more I'm going to see because that's what I like to watch. And it keeps coming up. But this particular case, I was watching how deftly the man handled that knife when he filleted the fish. And now I got some answers. Follow me on this. I promise I'm going to make it make sense. But check it out. I wanted to share a couple of poems I had written years ago. But they're very, very timely as of right now because, whoo, child, it goes with the topic. Where is it? One is called Tame. Oh, God, I gotta go find it. I thought I had it right here at my fingertips. Where did I put it? Where did I save it? Oh, no. Okay, that just means we gotta go do some research. Hold tight. Found it. Because if there's nothing else I can do, research is my thing. But I wrote it in this particular instance. It was only a couple of places it could be. But check this out. Here's the thing. For some reason, over the years, well, not for some reason, I'm going to tell you the reason. And this is what my epiphany has brought me to today about men and their stuff. But check it out. First, let me read the poem. I was in a way when I wrote it because this guy had just said something to offend me. A guy who I've known for years and years and years. And I'll bring that back to hold tight. Check it out. I wrote this in my latest book, Front of Mind of Tanya D. Floyd, Timeless Thoughts and Words of Wisdom, Volume 3. Tame. Passive, silent, oblivious, same. Most men want to see me tamed. Brick house, but that mouth. You influence what comes out. Truth, encouragement, whispers sweet. Then that's what you'll get from me. Hugs, kisses, future, wishes. Life with me will be delicious. Play fair, be nice, laughs, drinks, sex, spice. Silly, pretty, witty, girly. Football season, cowboy jerseys. Run a business, dress to impress. Got no time for people's mess. Interior design, DIY, things to stimulate the mind. Compliment to you, compliments for you. Did you ever think that I was sent for you? Now, which of these things would you have me tone down? So, okay. Why did I care that day about, what he had said about me being tame? Well, so the story behind that is over the last 30 years or so, I have offended several men. And in particular, this one guy, he's the one who used the word tame first. It was years and years and years ago. He was like, girl, you just need to, I don't know, somebody need to tame your ass. You got all that mouth and you ain't got to act like that. You ain't got to be so mean. You ain't got to, you know how they do, right? So, I know you're thinking in the back of your mind, you about to turn this off because what this got to do with filleting fish, right? But watch what I'm trying to do here. It all made sense at 5 a.m. when I was getting ready to get in the shower, okay? I'm going to try to make it make sense. But the thing is, they always want me to back down and be quiet and be more humble and this and that. But they don't inspire that in me because they not that guy, right? So basically, what am I talking about? It's time to talk about filleting. Men. Remember in Genesis when God told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and become many, he also told them to have in subjection all the fish in the sea and the flying creatures and everything walking on the earth, right? So man is pretty much it. He's the top of the food chain, right? Okay, You know how lions and wolves and dogs and different pack animal types, they have to prove who's the alpha in the group. So, if you the one going to lead the group, you the one's going to lead the group because you won. Everybody else just going to bow down to you, right? Man, when they did the sinning in the Garden of Eden and, messed everything up, cursed his ground, and all that stuff got upended, well, now everything's off balance with him, too. So instead of being a benevolent leader, a humble leader, a leader who can, naturally just go with his compliment and do his thing while she do her thing and vibe and yin yang and all that, instead of all of it being peaceful like that, man has a tendency to be a little bit overbearing with his stuff. What am I talking about? I'm talking about his being in charge stuff. Like, for instance, I asked a guy not too long ago, what is men's obsession with being with, so many women? Like, you don't even have to like her. You don't have to care about her. She could be ugly. You had a couple of drinks and you still gonna give it to her or take it from her or whatever y'all do or whatever you call it when you have that exchange sexually because you I couldn't figure it out that day. I had struggled with it. So I asked one of my close friends, why are men like that? Like, why do they need that? And he said, I don't even remember what he said, to tell you the truth. But basically, at the end of the conversation, I knew it was about dominance. It was about superiority. It was about power. Men don't necessarily do anything in this life unless it's to assert their dominance, their power, their superiority over each other, over women, over children, over anybody they encounter. And you know how there's a lot of immature guys out here walking around leading with that, and you can just see it all over him, and it's real unattractive because he just, oh, I want to be on top. You know what I'm saying? You can smell it on them when they wear that spicy cologne because they want you to notice them, right? But I've always had this thing where I just look at men like, what are you trying to prove to me? I don't care. I don't even want you. But the fact that I am the way that I am inspires in them a reaction of, you need to be tamed. Like, you just need to be put in your place. You talk too much. You're too opinionated. You're too overbearing. You're too assertive. You're too confident. I'm just so many things to most men, right? And I never really, put a lot of thought into it because I don't care and I don't want you anyway, like I said. But now, when I woke up this here morning, I just knew we had to talk about it. So here we go. But back to this whole filleting fish, finally, right? The filleting fish thing. Why do men go fishing? I'm not going to say why do people go fishing because it's different. There are fishermen who go fishing for their meals. That's their livelihood. They go fishing because what they do, dangerous as it may be, whatever the catch is, they go out there and they get it and they bring it back and they sell it. And sometimes, depending on, how nice and big it is, it's going to be something somebody want to mount on their wall. So they're going to pay a pretty penny for that, right? So there are people who do this by trade and there are people who do this for sport. And I've always thought about, like, the people who do it for sport. I went fishing once. It was on a boat. The boat left the dock and went out into the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. And it was weird. And the boat made me sick. But I got a little tipsy. And it balanced out some kind of way. Don't ask me how. But getting tipsy made the motion of the ocean not feel so bad, right? So anyway, I'm sitting on the boat the whole day. Wind and rain. Not rain, but I'm on the water. So my head's a total mess because it's just water everywhere, right? And I'm just sitting there like, why do people spend so much time doing this? But I just left it right there until this very morning when I woke up and I knew I had to talk about it. So here's the answer. A lot of men go fishing, again, because they have an unbalanced, unnatural, because man sinned in the first place, desire for dominance, superiority, and power. They go fishing and they sit as long as it takes, and they will come with their buckets, and whoever got the most fish in their bucket wins in their mind, right? You come home with 60 little teeny fish, and it don't even matter. You send them to somebody to fillet them. Here we go with the filleting situation. The guy who's filleting the fish. Take the knife, you put it in that hole, you rip all the guts out, and then you take that knife and you expertly navigate it around the rest of that fish, and you end up with just a couple of, portions of the body, and you throw the rest of the carcass away because it ain't worth nothing to you. You can't use it. Maybe you can make fish stock, but who's doing that? You didn't go fishing for that. You throw that away because it means nothing. Then you end up with these two little pieces of fish that you filleted off the bone. And what is that going to do? Like, it's not going to feed you. It's not a whole meal. It's not even a whole sandwich most times, right? Okay, again, depending on what kind of fish. But most men ain't out here fishing out deep in the ocean for the big old tuna that's going to feed a whole table full of people. They fishing for a bucket of little fish to say they caught the little fish. So then after you get it all filleted and you got a little teeny bit left, you need a whole bag of that fish to make a meal. And then beyond that, even if it's a nice piece of fish, you still got to season it. You got to prep it. You got to do a lot of things to it to make it pleasurable enough for you to sit down and enjoy that meal that you sat there 8 hours in all kinds of weather to catch, right? Here's the mentality. Because of their need for dominance, superiority, and power, they caught a bucket full of fish. You gotta be a man to understand it, I'm pretty sure, but you follow the logic, right? All of this, I did this. And then, when they finish, filleting it and taking away the pieces that they don't want, they throw that away, and whatever's left is a trophy. Women, fish. Feel where I'm going with this? They go through women like they go through the bucket of fish. Why did you have to go bother that girl over there? You don't like her. You don't want her. You ain't gonna do nothing with her. You probably never gonna call her again. But you had to feel what she was like inside. Yep. You gutted her. You dug her out. Then you took the pieces that you wanted and you threw the rest away. And now you don't have nothing to show for it, but you don't care because you had that experience. What is that gonna do for you beyond today? I don't know. Maybe a trophy in the mind. Maybe it's just an indelible imprint that he now has because he did that. Dominance, power, superiority. Just going to keep going through women for dominance, power, and superiority. You're just going to keep catching all those fish that ain't going to do nothing on their own and might not make a whole meal. Even if you season it up, fry it in the pan, and put it on your plate, you're not doing it for that. You are not doing it because, I just want a spot today. I just want a piece of rockfish today. That ain't why you did it. I don't even know if you noticed what's going on, but that's what's happening. You have a primal need for dominance, superiority, and power. Yeah. Man, I have learned, is the most savage creature on earth. Every other species out here will kill for food. They will kill to protect. They will kill, nobody kills for sport except men. Nobody figuratively kills for sport except men. They go out all the time looking for opportunities to show their dominance, superiority, and power. All day, every day. And then I got to thinking, I've come across lots of men who will never, ever get past a certain point with me. They will never gain my respect because they obviously, with the spicy cologne coming at me from across the room before I even get to see you, I smell you, they get all into this whole demeanor where it's like, recognize me, respect me, and then they want to show me something. A few of them have gotten past the little breaking point and got to a point where maybe possibly it could have gotten sexual. But I realized even then, without realizing why or going deep into the thought process about it, I realized that you weren't doing this for me or for us or for some need for intimacy or any of that. You were doing it clearly to show me your dominance, your superiority, and your power, and that turned me off. But even if you got close enough to the point where I found out at the last second, right before I decided I was never going to be intimate with you, even if you got that close, you only wanted to gut me, dig me out, fillet me up, throw away the parts that you can't use, and maybe keep the rest in your mind as a trophy. You ain't doing nothing with me, player. I'm running from you. I don't like it. I don't want it. I'm a pass. Hard pass. I have had several of those. Okay, hard pass. Because I already know you just want to show me. You want to beat me over the head with a club figuratively, but not so figuratively by your behaviors and your words to me. And the guy who told me he wanted me to be tame, he probably really, really means that. Because how dare I be the way I am? How dare I present the way I do? How dare I think I'm all that? How you gonna think fine when you all that fluffy in all those places and you ain't like you used to be? I'm a shadow of my former self, but you know what? I ain't gotta deal with your shit. I see you and I don't want it. I'm a pass. I'm way more fine than you are and you will ever be because your mind ain't right. It takes I'm not gonna say a strong man, but it takes a very healthy and mature man to realize that he does not have to walk around exerting himself in dominance, power, and superiority. It takes a really healthy man to understand that what he really needs is to recognize a compliment when he sees her. And by compliment, I don't mean, it's like when God gave Adam Eve. He didn't make her exactly what Adam was missing. He made her complementary to Adam. Meaning, if you're going to be in a successful relationship, like some of y'all say you want, you're not going to be filling in his missing links and making him whole. You're going to also be harmonious with him. You got to be, somebody who has a lot in common with him already, as well as the parts that are different from him. You see what I'm saying? You can't just be everything he's not, because what y'all got in common, what are you going to, fall back on when you're talking? How you going to relate if you are something he's not and he's something you're not? Y'all coming from two different places. It's Venus and Mars. It's, black and white. It's hot and cold, apples and oranges. You can put them together sometime, but they got to blend all the time for it to work. See what I'm saying? Anyway. So yeah, all that at 5 a.m. in my mind. I don't know why, but today was that day. And yeah, filleting fish videos for the last month came into play today when it was so clear. That's what these guys out here doing, filleting us. Just because they have that primal need for those three things. And to tell you the whole truth, they could be more successful if they didn't need those things so much. You can be that guy. I want you to come home and be my alpha 100%. Sometimes the alpha got to be like, hey, be quiet. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to plan. I'm trying to make these moves. Just give me a minute. Remember that episode of A Different World where Dwayne came and got Whitley because she was somewhere and she didn't come home or whatever. And he was like, hey, I can do without all these things. I can't do without my wife. Come on, let's go. And she took too long and he was like, come on. Snapping her up. Let's go. And she was like, bye. She told her friend she had to go because that is what you're talking about. Leave me. You can be superior to me without trying to beat me over the head with it. You can be dominant without beating me over the head. And I will go, okay, you got this. I'm with you. What we going to do? It's a harmonious. We got a lot in common. And I also got some things that you don't have. And you also got some things that I don't have. And we're going to fill each other all the way up. It's not that you got missing links or that I got missing links. It's not about that. It's about being what you need and getting what you need. Each. Both. You see what I'm saying? But yeah. It's a lot more of those immature cavemen out there than there are healthy, healed, or even willing to be healthy and healed. Men who respect the fact that a woman can be his complement, his partner, his groove thing. Yeah. That's why it's taking so long for you to find somebody because they don't know. They probably don't even realize they doing this stuff. Or even if they do realize it, they feel like it's just natural and you're supposed to get with it. I'm going to go with no on that. Hard pass again. Wrote this other poem. Um, I believe it too is in the same book. Yeah. I last edited this in 2016, so it's in that book. But classic woman. This is how I was feeling on a day when I had a failed interaction with a man who not necessarily wanted to beat me over the head with his power, but he also made it very clear that he was a little bit old school, and he wanted a woman who could make sure his dinner was on the table every day and who could make sure, his laundry was right and who could just be his sexy little something. And he would always go to work and come home, and we would go out and different things, but in a 1950s kind of way, I had to pass. Classic woman is what it's called. Times have changed. He's got kids, she's got kids, they're both divorced, but she's forced to act like she's never had sex before. He says, "Wanna be my baby?" She's like, "Maybe." But she's used to certain things and wants to know what he's bringing, and talk is cheap. So what if she flipped it on him, whipped it on him earlier than expected? He won't have to worry about feeling rejected, and she won't need to pretend she's not trying to get it in. Win-win? Nope. She done opened a can of worms. Since it wasn't on his terms, he's one and done. Ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. He didn't get to trick her, ply her with liquor, or chase it, so his game is shot to shit. Times have changed, girl. It's not like back when a guy was looking for a girl to share his world and he would do certain things, woo her, bring her flowers, trinkets, court her, date her, win her. Used to be he wanted to make her his wife. Guys these days ain't about that life. Things have changed. You used to lock it up, keep it in your pocket, hold out, but then find out it won't work at all because it's small. Or he stops calling right after he gets your prize and you realize that's what he was about from the get-go. Got you open though. Your genie is exposed. He knows you inside and out and what you're about because you did all that bonding, growing fond and stuff. Sucks when that happens. Times have changed. You've been out the game so you don't have no clue. What's a girl to do? Wait again for your soulmate? Wait again to be found? But that's a lot of weight you're carrying around from all these letdowns. Each time you die a little bit because you always put your heart in it. Because even though times have changed, you never did. Classic woman. Look here. I'm tired of this mess. Okay? Tired of the foolishness. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just, whew. It's a lot. I was thinking about this other guy I know who I've known some time. It's just, I never really looked at him suspiciously like he was just trying to, get in my pants or anything. I always looked at him like, that was when the girl in me was more prevalent. I was looking at him just like a friend or somebody I was familiar with to a higher degree than most people I'm familiar with. We talked about a lot of stuff. But then one day he said something that made me stop in my tracks, and I realized now we got to redo every conversation in my head because I'm feeling like your motives have always been wrong. And I missed it. And then I was mad at myself for not seeing it sooner, but it was like, he wanted to know all of me. Clearly now, I can see in hindsight. He wanted to know all of the insides that I talked about, but he wanted to know all my insides too. And what you gonna do with all that information, sir? Beyond getting all the information, what you gonna do with it? It's not about anything else for them. That's it. That could be the end of it. Absolutely 100%. Again, they don't get into it for intimacy or partnership or, to find their mate. They get into it because power, dominance, and superiority. So once you get to know all my insides, then you'll be satisfied in walking away because you can throw the carcass this way and the pieces you filleted, you can throw them somewhere else or keep them in the back of your mind for, reference when you want to have a little dirty smile or quiet moment, secret thoughts from your wife, different things. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of them. I would like to say I can't stand them. I think it's fair to say I can't stand them, but at the same time, I'm still looking for one. Just one. Be one. I'm waiting for him. I'm not gonna keep putting up with this dumb stuff though. I'm not even gonna be soft when I say it, and they're gonna keep saying I need to be tame and I need to chill and I need to calm down and I need to, watch what I say. And I'm still not. I'm gonna say slick stuff. I want to meet the guy who can say slick stuff back, or who can smile and be like, "Ooh, fire! I like that," and not be offended because he's not a little boy who needs to exert his dominance, superiority, and power over me. But he's a man who's healed enough to know that if I could be strong enough mentally, I could probably help him get along in life and do some things he want to do. I'm waiting for that guy. I know it's a needle in a haystack because they all want to do that whole puffy chest out little boy stuff. It's okay, I'll wait. I ain't got nothing else to do. But meanwhile, I do have some projects I need to work on over here, so it's not like, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, my time running out. I ain't trying to have no more kids, no way. What I'm rushing for? I ain't got no clock. I'm good. I'm gonna wait right here. So yeah, that was my thought for the day. Men are so, the nature of man is so, the filleting of the fish thing though, that visual will never leave me. It's so clear that that's what they've been doing all this time. And it's usually from a position of insecurity and inferiority that they want to keep throwing that stuff over top of your head. Like, be quiet. Don't act like that. Don't talk like that. Don't be like that. I remember this one guy. he calls himself an old fashioned guy. He likes opening doors and stuff. He likes treating ladies like a lady, but he had a fatal flaw because once we were in my truck. I usually drive a big old SUV, so we were in my truck and we were out for lunch or something, and he said to me with all the disgust, and I could just tell he was so offended by my behavior. He said, "Why you keep acting so much like a dude? Do you want to be the man?" And I was like, huh? What? Hell no. And at first I laughed at him because, the fact that he was so angry, it was funny to me. But then I just thought, and you had such promise. Oh well, back to the drawing board for him. Yeah, they can't with me. And to a degree, I like it. I think it's funny. I'm going to keep laughing. Next. Out of here. Next. Yeah. But I'm gonna let you go. It's been 28 minutes and 53 seconds, so a little short of 30, but that needed to be said. And I don't know if I have a positive message for you, but don't let them tame you. Don't let them think you need to be tamed. And you can still be a classic woman without being antiquated in your beliefs. You could be free enough to just be you and not be judged for it by some dude who thinks you should be different. So, there's something. Take that and have a great day. Toodles.